Welcome, welcome, welcome to English for Life podcast with Joy. I'm your host, Joy.
And I'm Will, your co-host. So glad to be back with you all today.
We are so excited for today's episode, Will. We're diving into something really, really fascinating that I think, it impacts all of us, especially when we're trying to communicate effectively.
Absolutely, Joy. We're going to be talking about body language today, which, it's just so much more than just how we stand or sit. It actually plays a huge role in everything from public speaking to navigating new cultures when you are learning a language, and even professional success.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a silent language itself, isn't it? And we're really going to be drawing inspiration from Professor Amy Cuddy's incredible work today. Her insights are they're so powerful. So stick around, everyone. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah, speaking of Amy Cuddy, her TED Talk, Your Body Language May Shape Who You Are, it's really groundbreaking stuff. She talks a lot about what she calls power posing. And essentially, it's this idea that our physical posture, like how we hold ourselves, it can actually profoundly influence our confidence, our hormones, even our overall state of mind. It's not just about how others perceive us, but how we perceive ourselves. So, when you adopt these expansive, open postures, like standing tall with your hands on your hips, kind of like, a superhero pose, or even just leaning back with your arms open, it actually, she found that it can lower your cortisol levels, which is the stress hormone, and increase your testosterone, which is associated with confidence and assertiveness. It's pretty wild. And it really comes down to this powerful concept she talks about, faking it until you become it. It's not just an act, It's about how these physical changes actually genuinely change how we feel inside. It's like, you adopt the pose, and then your brain actually starts to catch up and believe it. And then you genuinely feel more confident and perform better. It's pretty powerful stuff, really.
Oh, absolutely, Will. That idea of faking it until you become it really resonates with me, especially when I think back to my own experiences with public speaking. When I was first starting out, especially as an ESL learner, I remember, oh gosh, I used to get so incredibly nervous before any presentation, or even just having to speak up in a class discussion. My palms would sweat. My heart would just pound, and my voice, it would just get this shaky, really quiet sound. I'd try to make myself small, almost invisible, I guess, hoping no one would really notice me or, ask me a question. And it was even more challenging trying to navigate all of that in a new environment in English, when I was still, building my confidence with the language it's safe. There were so many times I knew the answer, or I had an idea, but that fear, that physical manifestation of anxiety, it held me back. I'd hunch my shoulders, avoid eye contact, just trying to disappear. But then, learning about Cuddy's work, it was honestly kind of a revelation for me. It made me realize that my physical posture was actually, contributing to that anxiety loop. I was literally, adopting those low-power poses without even realizing it. So I started just consciously forcing myself to stand taller, to open up my chest a bit, even if it felt really awkward at first. Before a presentation, I'd go to the bathroom and I'd just, stand in that superhero pose for a minute or two, just like she suggests. And honestly, it did feel a bit silly initially, but over time, I swear, it started to make a difference. Even just taking up more space physically, it made me feel a little less vulnerable, a little more grounded. It didn't magically erase all my nerves, of course, but it definitely helped to alleviate some of that intense anxiety. It gave me, just enough of a boost to push through and deliver my message more clearly, more confidently. It really helped me enhance my delivery, especially as I was, still learning and building my language skills. It's truly powerful.
Wow, Joy, that's such a relatable story. And I can totally empathize with that feeling of, trying to make yourself small. It reminds me so much of my own time, actually, studying abroad, trying to navigate a whole new culture where, my goodness, my language skills were definitely still developing, to say the least. I remember it was tough. There were so many moments where I just, felt completely lost in translation, even when people were speaking slowly or trying to explain things. Like sometimes I just couldn't grasp the words. And in those situations, I really had to lean on other forms of communication. I found myself like observing people constantly, watching their hands, their facial expressions, how close they stood to each other, how they gestured. And honestly, it was like learning a whole second language, the language of their body. I quickly realized that if I didn't understand the words, maybe their body language would give me like a clue. And conversely, I had to like be super mindful of my own body language. Like I remember trying to convey, I'm friendly or I'm listening or I understand, even when my vocabulary was like super limited. A simple nod or a more open posture or even just like maintaining eye contact, which, varies culturally, but it was just so crucial for making connections, for building some kind of rapport. There were times I'd, like, unintentionally, offend someone or misunderstand a situation because I didn't pick up on the nonverbal cues, or I might have used a gesture that meant something completely different there. It was a huge learning curve, but also adopting a more, I guess, confident or open posture even when I felt completely out of my depth, really helped. It wasn't just about appearing confident to others, but it genuinely made me feel a little bit more in control, a little less overwhelmed by, the linguistic challenges. It was almost like a way to trick my brain into thinking, okay, you've got this, even if you can't say it perfectly. So, yeah, I totally agree that understanding body language, both others and your own, it's absolutely crucial for navigating social situations and like building confidence, especially in new or challenging cultural contexts. It's a game changer.
Oh, absolutely, Will. That's such a powerful takeaway from your experience. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it, or, how you present yourself, even without words. And I think that translates so well into the professional world, wouldn't you say?
100% Joy. I mean, we've talked about public speaking, we've talked about um, navigating new cultures, but honestly, in the workplace, body language is just, it's huge. Like, it impacts everything from, how you're perceived as a leader to your actual performance to just your overall competence.
Yeah, exactly. Think about like a meeting, right? If you're sitting hunched over or avoiding eye contact, even if you have like the most brilliant idea, it might not land as effectively. Whereas if you're sitting up straight, making eye contact, maybe even, using those expansive gestures we talked about, you just, you project confidence. You project authority, really.
And that's so crucial for professionals, especially, for those of us who English might not be our first language. Because sometimes there's that extra layer of, like, maybe self-consciousness about our accent or our vocabulary. But your body language, it can really bridge that gap. It can say, I'm confident, I'm capable, and I belong here, even if you're, still refining your linguistic skills.
Definitely. I mean, think about job interviews, for instance. I always tell people it's not just about like what's on your resume or how well you answer questions. It's also about how you enter the room, how you shake hands, how you maintain eye contact throughout the interview. Those nonverbal cues, they speak volumes about your confidence, your enthusiasm, your professionalism.
Or even in presentations, right? Like, a lot of what Amy Cuddy talks about power posing before a situation, applies directly here. If you're about to give a big presentation, maybe you step into a quiet corner for a minute or two and just um, assume a power pose. It's not just to, like, look good, but it actually helps to reduce cortisol, increase testosterone, and make you feel more powerful, more ready.
Yeah, it's about owning the space, isn't it? Whether it's a board meeting, a casual team huddle, or, a client presentation, leveraging those nonverbal cues, it really can differentiate you. It helps you be perceived as like more influential, more credible. It's truly a skill that can be practiced and developed, just like any other professional skill, I think.
So, Joy, we've covered quite a bit today, from the science behind power posing to our own personal journeys with public speaking and language learning. What are some practical, actionable tips that our listeners can take away from this, to start applying this immediately?
Oh, that's a great question, Will. I think the biggest takeaway for me is just becoming aware of your body language. Like, you know, pay attention to how you're standing, how you're sitting, especially before or during situations where you need to feel confident.
Yeah, exactly. It's that conscious effort, isn't it? My go-to, honestly, is the Wonder Woman pose or the Superman pose, as Amy Cuddy talks about. Hands on hips, chest out, feet wide apart, just for 2 minutes before, like a big meeting or a tough conversation. It really does something.
It does. And it's not just for big moments. Even in your daily life, when you're just like walking down the street or, waiting in line for coffee, try to maintain an open posture, shoulders back, head up. It makes a difference not just in how others see you, but more importantly, how you feel about yourself.
Totally. And I'd add to that, experiment. Don't just take our word for it. Try different poses, try being more expansive in your movements. Or, even just maintaining eye contact a little longer in conversations. See how it feels. Notice the shift in your own confidence levels.
Yes, absolutely. And remember, it's not about being someone you're not. It's about really allowing your body to help your mind reach its full potential. To truly, fake it until you become it, as Cuddy says. Your body can be your ally in boosting your confidence, whether you're giving a presentation, going to a job interview, or just having a chat with a new colleague.
So, yeah, stand tall, take up space, and allow your body to lead the way to a more confident you. It's a game changer, really.
Well, that's all the time we have for today, everyone. I hope you found our discussion on body language and especially Amy Cuddy's amazing work as insightful as we did. It really, really helps, doesn't it? Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us on this journey to, better understanding ourselves and improving our English for life. Remember to like and subscribe to English for Life podcast with Joy. Thank you for joining us on this podcast. See you next time.